Welcome back, guys, to yet another World of Warcraft The War Within video. Today, I'm going to be talking about a quick setup of a new character if you're doing tailoring. Now, this is a very lazy way to set up tailoring. There's a lot more that you can actually do for the profession if you want to, and you have a limited amount of alts. But in general, especially if you have a lot of alts like me, quantity beats quality by quite a lot. And I'll be talking about a couple of reasons as to why that is throughout this video. But before we do get into it, make sure that you guys drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel with all the notifications on, and also make sure that you check out GoldCap. It's a great goal making community, both a Discord and a website full of WoW guides. And if you're interested, I have a code SANSAFUL for 10% off. But let's get straight into the video. So the reason why I want to show you this today is because on my streams for the last couple of days, people have been asking what I do for a tailoring setup on a new alt. And once you've actually completed the leveling campaign on one main, you get access to a lot of skips. And this is a brand new character. As you can see, we're standing in Legion Tailoring. We have this particular quest right here, the War Within. We're going to use this scroll. And I'm going to do this from the beginning so you guys can see the whole process. What we then do is we walk right over here to For All. And then we pick up the first quest. And then, boom, instantly we get the skip. That's all we do. And you can also just walk over and go into one of the portals in either Orgrimmar or Stormwind or whatever. But in case your alt is in a particularly far away destination, this is also really quick. And the difference with this is you spawn pretty super close to the profession area, which is over here, rather than inside this tower. It's a small difference, so it doesn't really actually matter that much. Now, the thing we're going to go ahead and do here, I think I actually might have already... No, I actually haven't on this one. I'm going to go ahead and pick up Tailoring, which is right over here. I actually have to delete one of my previous professions on this character to do so. So we're going to go ahead and pick up Tailoring. Now, the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to walk right over here into the house for the Artisans Consortium. Right here on the location on the map so you guys can see where it is. We're going to walk in here and we're going to pick up our one-time profession bag. Now, we want to do this because, as I'll show you right here, actually, I'm going to pick up this one. It doesn't actually matter which one you pick because the only thing that's important is what's inside of it, the 350 Artisan Security. For all intents and purposes, you can also go for the bag that gives you the most gold value or something that actually helps your profession. In my case, I'm just going to purchase what I need off the auction house. For this setup, I'm going to need a 200 Weaver Cloth, so we're going to go ahead and buy that. We don't need any particular rank, so we're just buying the cheapest one. We're also going to need Storm Dust. In most cases, we need about 18, but I'm going to go ahead and buy 20 just in case. And then we need 4 Leyline Residue, and this is all we need for now. If you want to take the profession even further, skill it up any higher than what I'm about to show you, you need way more materials than that. But this is for the purpose of Duskweave and Dawnweave bolts, okay? The daily cooldown crafted bolts. There are also a couple other builds that I plan on making videos on, but this is the one that we're starting with. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to send these unraveling charges to about 10. And here we go. We're just going to let this go through. Now, one other thing that we're going to do with our Artisan Security, you might be like, okay, well, maybe we should spend it on a tool, but because I am lazy and I like lowering the amount of required work on an alt and keeping that to an absolute minimum for the maximum amount of profit, that's not what we're going to do. We are also going to get access to some knowledge points books when we actually reach 12 with Counts of Dornegal, which also should be fairly soon. Now, when we actually get to that point, that'll be great. We can get even further in. At this point, we actually need to buy some Mosswool thread here. We're going to go ahead and buy 400 and some adorning ribs. And then we are going to craft 2 of these bolts. We need way more, by the way. So we're not going to be done crafting those yet. We just want to get to 10, so we also have this one. There we go. When we continue along here, the main purpose right now is getting to 25 so we can unlock the first specialization. Once that's done, We're going to pick from dawn until dusk, and then we need 30 knowledge points. Now, you could go and pick up the one-time treasures for an extra 24 to make this build even more worth it. But that is a lot more hours that you have to spend on an alt. I would say that's totally something, like, that's absolutely something that's worth it to do if you have a very limited amount of alts, right? Like 5 to 10 or something like that. But if you're like me and you have 130 and you want to do all kinds of different builds, just getting started is a very, very good thing, right? You don't actually have to min-max every single part of what's available. Now, it's not to say, again, and I just want to say, it's not to say that it's not worth it in your case. If you want to spend more time on it, absolutely go ahead. But this is the absolute minimum that I'm going to put into it to be able to get a decent amount of gold out of it, okay? That's what this purpose is for. And I just want to double down on that. Now we're at the point where we can actually unlock this specialization, so we're going to go ahead and do that. This is where we need to put 30 points, because once we've done that, we unlock not only Duskweave Tailoring. As you can see, we have the Duskweave Bolt now. We would also unlock Dawnweave Tailoring, which will give us the opportunity to also make that. And then that's it, right? So what we're going to do right now is we're going to get the last couple of knowledge points we need, which we're actually going to be able to get right through here, right through the profession itself. We're going to go ahead and make these, 6 of these. So we need to make 6 Weaver Cloth bolts here. So we can make, because each of these costs 1 of these. And this is where the Storm Dust comes into play, as you can see. So we're going to go ahead, make 6 of these. Get on further in, take a little sip. Unfortunately not sponsored. Unlucky. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and make 1 of these each. Actually, you could start out with the Tailor's Coat, so you have a little bit of a chance with some of the profession stats if you want to. I'm going to use that to our advantage. Boom. Boom. And boom. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look. We're still at 13. So we need a couple more points here. We're still going to get pretty far into the profession, so don't you worry. Still need to unravel some more cloth. You can actually also start out by unraveling all 200, so you don't have to go back and forth all the time. But if you want to min-max it, because the rewards out of your unraveling is going to be very different. It could be anything from 10 to 20. However much you get is going to be a little varied, which is also why it's 200 and not lower, right? I'm not going to lowball it, because if you get really unlucky on your unravels, then that's going to be a problem, unfortunately. But we're going to go ahead and make some more bolts here. You can see right here that we still have access to quite a lot of first-time crafts. This is not any small amounts, by the way, either. We're going to get access to a couple more. And that is where the leyline residue comes in. So I'll show you that in a second. If you want to get even more out of leveling these professions, having an alt with enchanting is a very good idea, because not only can all the profession gear be disenchanted, but also all the blue craft gear and stuff like that, send it right over to be disenchanted, because the sell price on it is absolutely terrible. Even if you don't have a greatly set up character, even rank 1 materials are going to be worth to disenchant into more than the sell value for these items. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and make these here. Get the first time craft bonuses for the knowledge points, because that is what we're looking for. We also go ahead and level here. A little extra leveling activity. So now we are looking at 18 points. We need another 2, which we are going to get right here from these finishing reagents, if you guys are still following along. Now that we are at 20, this is where the Artisan's Acuity Spendage comes in. We're going to go right in here where we also got the one-time material bag quest, and we are going to ball out and buy this one for 10 knowledge points. Now, if you want to spend a lot of time, you can go collect the one-time treasures for 24 additional knowledge points. I'm lazy. I'm not going to do that. And I know this might set down the progress on these alts by quite a lot, but the vast majority of my time that I'll be spending on professions will not be alts early on, so it's not a big deal to me. But at this point, we are actually at a completely perfect point. We unlocked Dawnweave Tailoring, which means we have both bolts available. And at this point, you can just go ahead and get to crafting on these. You start with 1 charge, and they recharge in about 16 hours and 15 minutes, like 17 hours. Then you get another charge, right? One of these crafts will give you 2 each, and you go ahead and sell them on the auction house or use them for something else in your profession. You could also go ahead and potentially get some profit out of making bags already, but I would prefer having another alt for that. But I hope this guide made sense. This is what I'm doing right now. As for the amount of gold, I mean, it's a little hard to say, but you can tell based on the length of this video, this takes about 10 minutes to set up, which is super, super easy. You can go a lot more in depth than this. You can level it even further, get a lot more knowledge points, or you could decide, okay, well, I just want to focus on Dusk Weave or Dawn Weave. That's completely up to you if you have some specific choices like that. But for my alts, this is what I'm doing. If you guys have any questions, make sure you drop that down in the comments below, and I will be making more videos on professions very, very soon. But if you watched all the way to this point in the video, make sure that you type we're gonna pick gum again. I like this gum, so type gum down in the comments if you made it all the way to this point in the video. If you did, thank you very much, and as always, guys, I'll see you on the next one.